So I'm here at the IAB Leadership Summit in beautiful Carlsbad, San Diego, with my good friend and former colleague and industry veteran, Moritz Loew of MSNBC. And essentially we're chatting about the conference and wanted to ask Mo a few questions. First one being, why did you come to the IAB Summit, given that there's so many conferences these days, and what do you expect to get from it, and how do you think the industry is being changed or is poised to be changed by some of what we're hearing today?
Well, I came to the IAB this year for the collective brain power in terms of publishers and the people that represent platforms like CPX that are here, and this intersection between the content providers and the context providers. And I think a company like CPX is providing that context through data. I think it's a very interesting year where traditionally MSNBC was based on the content, that is, Today's Show, and you're reading the home and garden section. Now this context of what you're doing in a day, your psychological mindset that's coming to intersection with that content, I think is very, very interesting. And I think that's what we need to master going forward so that we can exceed in this new generation. Other kind of underlying reason I'm here is for innovations in video. Very interested in what Starcom MediaVets Group and Viviki have pulled off with the poll research. We've been heavily involved there, and I think there'll be some exciting announcements about that.
I think we're at an intersection of the ecosystem. Ecosystem is a word that's bandied about, but ecosystem where you have demand side, supply side, you have exchanges, networks, old media, new media, second channel, and all these different things. But the marketer ultimately controls the spend and controls the day in many, many, many different ways to shape where budgets are going. What do you think marketers, Mo, need to do these days in terms of reinventing themselves, both at the brand level and at the agency level?
Well, I think they've got to get beyond marketing just being transactional on the digital side. It's not that notion of, hey, prove the brand power of online, but I understand that it intersects with transaction, and it's part of the overall transaction. It's not just that final step that what digital provides. It's about the entire funnel. Yeah,
and so it's a good point you're making because one of the last meetings I had was with a major auto manufacturer, and they're all DR. They do DR, they tell me. But if we can talk to the upper level attribution, then that's where they're interested. And vehicles such as social media and all of that is going to be a way for us to help them carve out the future. In terms of your own team, as a final question, Mo, what are some of the best practices you guys are leveraging in the marketplace to really engage brands and agencies?
I think so the best practice that we have in terms of the DNA of MSNBC Interactive is leveraging all the platforms. This is really the first year that we've actually been able to do a very high quality program that's in broadcast. For instance, we did a program with Walmart this year that's on the Today Show, that's dominating all about moms, that also lives in mobile format. Lives in a digital format and has portal support from Microsoft, and it's kind of a 4-screen type of deal that we've put together, and we actually executed on it very well. And I think that was really, really exciting. And I think that'll be more part of our future going forward. And so I've got my team focusing going forward to understand traditional media, even looking at television, absolutely, because we heard in one of the lectures before that that's still going to be a part of the component of advertising going forward, but it's not the value proposition itself. But in order for us to capture more dollars overall, we've got to understand the jargon of traditional media so we can go in there and more effectively translate what it is we're trying to do for them. If they don't understand the language, it doesn't matter if we have the greatest product in the world. So I'm really pushing my team to understand the speak, so to speak, of those other platforms that are out there. Even newspaper, it might be shrinking, but it's not dead. It's important to understand what are the buying principles of that and the jargon behind that, and radio as well.
And certainly, we're still educators, and we're still continuing to educate. You talked about TV being relevant. Interactive TV is something we see a lot about these days, and so forth. But I think what you're seeing here today at the IAB Summit is, the first channel and the second channel working together to help carve out a new ecosystem of data providers and relevance and efficiencies for the brands. And I think that's where the industry is going. So thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely, my pleasure, sir.
And best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir.